This is such an interesting film because this is a good to maybe even a great movie if you don't pay attention to it. I respect the hell out of James Cameron for coming up with this entire original world, but we are talking spoilers, so if you have not seen this movie yet, come back later. Avatar as a franchise is one that I originally never cared about. Back in 2000, whatever, when the first movie came out, I saw bits and pieces of it, but it just wasn't something that really interested me. Like that first movie, the story is literally Pocahontas. The story, for the most part, is just Pocahontas. And I didn't really care about this movie with a bunch of weird looking blue people in it. Is that racist? But with Fire and Ash coming out, I wanted to finally experience the Avatar movie in IMAX and 3D, so I gave it another try. And just this week alone, I watched the first two Avatar movies, over 6.5 hours of Avatar. And honestly, I really like this series now. Like, I can admit it, I was wrong. The first movie, in my opinion, is still Pocahontas. I still feel that way, but I fell in love with these characters, and I thought the world that James Cameron built was so interesting. Like, I wanted to actually live and experience Pandora. The second movie was bigger in scale, and even though they could have cut out some scenes and saved time, I thought it was good. So when it comes to Fire and Ash, I never thought this would happen, but I was actually really excited going into this movie. Like, I wanted to see how James Cameron was going to end this epic and exciting trilogy. I wanted to see where he was going to take the story. But like I was saying earlier, this movie is good. This movie could even be great if you turn your brain off and you just enjoy the entertainment that you're witnessing, because this movie is a spectacle. But when you start to turn your brain on and when you start to think about some of the things that's going on in this movie, you really start to notice the flaws. I do like this movie. I did enjoy myself, but I do have a lot of complaints. But let's start with what I like. I would have laughed at you if you told me I would like this film years ago, but these damn characters, man, like I genuinely found myself caring about these characters and wanting to see and learn more about this planet. The Sully family dynamic in general, I think, is great, even though I care about some of the family members a lot more than some of the other ones. Respectfully, I don't really care about the daughters. A guy like Jake Sully, even though he's extremely flawed, is such a fascinating character to me, and it's been great to see his growth from Avatar 1 to now. Zoe Saldana as Natiri, I think that's how you say it. Sorry, I'm bad with all the names in this movie. I love her character, and for me personally, I wanted her to be more of a focus in this story. Like, I wanted them to really hammer the fact that this is a mother who was dealing with the loss of her child, but I'll talk more about my complaints with the story later. Acting across the board I thought was really good for the most part, outside of Spider. Like, Spider as a character, to me, he's fine. I get why he's there, but it was some scenes, no offense to the actor, but it was just some scenes where the delivery was just, I'm good. I thought just about every single action scene in this movie was great. Like, I love those movies like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, where they have these big epic battles. Avatar, in my opinion, in every single movie, they deliver in that aspect. Like, I thought Way of the Water had some great action scenes, but Fire and Ash was right there with them. I mean, with ships exploding everywhere, you got these creatures flying everywhere. In this movie, you got people flying on creatures with assault rifles and shooting bazookas everywhere. Like, the action scenes in this movie were intense. Like, even very early in the film, the Wind or Air Clan got attacked by the Fire Clan. That scene was amazing. Like, that fire suicide bomber, when it purposely ran into the ship, that scene was incredible. Everything about the action in this movie, which is over 3 hours long, was great. And before this movie came out, the big thing with this film was the introduction of the Fire Clan. Like, for me, I don't know why in TV shows and movies, I usually always like the fire tribes. I don't know why. Like, in this movie, I thought they were so cool. I'm gonna talk more about them in a second, but the leader of the Fire Clan, I thought she was a good villain. I feel like she could have been a great villain if she had more to do. Like, when it comes to women in movies, I usually love the crazy, the lunatic, the fine villain. That's usually my bag. Like, in this movie, they introduced this new alien baddie, and I was like, damn, do I want to smash an alien? So the Fire Clan in general, I thought they were cool, but we'll talk more about them in a second, because I thought they kind of fumbled that entire situation. And obviously, the best part of this movie, the visuals. This movie is absolutely beautiful, and it was weird because it was moments where I was forgetting that this is CGI and not legit people. Like, the character models are some of the best CGI I have ever seen in my life, and I'm glad I got to finally experience this film in IMAX 3D. It was fully worth the price. But the characters were absolutely beautiful. This world was beautiful. The fire, the water, which I know that sounds kind of silly, but everything about this movie was beautiful. Like, the fight scene at the very end of this movie, visually, is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, I could not imagine sitting down and watching this movie in a theater like the Las Vegas Sphere or something. So it's a lot to like about this movie, and if you turn your brain off, this is a great film. My problem is sometimes I'm no fun, and I also binge watched all these movies back to back, so some things really stuck out to me. The main issue that I have with Fire and Ash is that the second and the third movie seems to share a lot of the same beats. Like, I saw Way of the Water the day before I went to go see Fire and Ash, and not literally, but in some cases, you can make the argument that this is the same exact movie because it shares so many of the same beats. Like, the story doesn't really progress that much. The third movie takes place right after the second film, and it felt like this was one really long movie that they just cut in half because it felt more like a part one and part two. It's just so much of the beats of this film repeats from the second movie. Like, the Sky People are trying to capture Jake again. Jake tells the children, don't do this. The children go and do it anyway. The children gets captured. The children get set free. Like, a lot of the dialogue in this movie is, come on, this way. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Go, 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 go. And then the children gets captured again. People hunting after whales. The son goes underwater. He gets attacked by an animal. And then he gets saved at the last minute. The daughter is battling health issues. The daughter is trying to connect with Awa, whatever the god name is. And then we get a big battle at the end. And even with the battle, I feel like the pattern that the battle takes is the same in all three movies. Like, at the beginning of the big battle, at the end, the good guys come out the gate, they're dominating, they're destroying all these ships, they whipping the Sky People, and then the ship happens, the Sky People start winning. Some of the people that we as viewers know that we've been following, they just randomly die, morale is low, and then all of a sudden, something happens and the Na'vi turns it around, and then the Na'vi wins. My memory isn't the best, but I feel like that pattern took place in every single movie. And then we get at the very end, the fight that happens at the end of all these movies between Jake and the Colonel. It's the exact same thing. And I like the Colonel character, but I don't need him to be the main guy for every single movie because the Colonel loses, the Colonel dies, but he doesn't really die, and then he comes back. Like, it's weird. It's multiple points in this movie where characters just completely disappear and we don't know what happened to them. Like, the scientist that helped Jake escape when he was captured, he helped Jake escape. I think they start taking gunfire and then they split up. We just don't see that scientist ever again. It's the same thing with the Colonel. Like, at the end of the movie, we saw the Colonel jump off the ledge. He jumped in the fire. We saw him. He screamed. And then the camera cuts away. One thing I've learned in my life, if you don't see a character actually die, they're probably not dead. And in this case, we've seen the Colonel die, what, twice at this point? The same thing when it comes to the leader of the Fire Clan. She literally just runs away and we don't see her again. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that, I don't know her name, I wouldn't be surprised if that Fire Clan leader actually saved the Colonel. And when it comes to the leader of the Fire Clan, she played a much smaller role than I would have liked. Like, I wanted to see more of her. I wanted to know more of her background. I wanted her to be the actual true villain of this movie, but she kind of just fell in line with the Colonel. They got her on all the posters. She was the main focus of the trailer, but they made her more of just a side character instead of the true villain. And I wanted her to just play a bigger part. Like, I wanted to really like her, but they never really gave me a reason to care about her. Like, the Tiri, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Zoe Saldana's character. She's one of my favorite characters in this movie. She might be my favorite character in the Avatar franchise, but I wanted more of her and seeing her experience in dealing with the trauma of having your child be killed in battle. Like, she has this beef with Spider, but that beef doesn't really go anywhere. I wanted them to play more with that tension with her and Spider because Spider is the son of the Colonel. But it's no real twists or turns in this movie. Like, it was a scene early in the movie where Spider was sleeping and then his mask, the battery started to die, and then the family woke up and they were looking for the mask. Everybody was panicking, but the mom, Natiri, she was kind of just like, whatever. I wanted them to play more into that. Like, I thought they were hinting that maybe Natiri, I think that's how you pronounce her name, I thought they were hinting that she was the reason that his mask was like dying. I thought they were going to play off of that, but it didn't really go anywhere. Seeing her reaction early in the movie, I thought it was going to be like another plot line of her secretly trying to kill Spider to get revenge, but it just ultimately ended up not going anywhere because in the first movie, Spider had this mask on. It seemed like the mask, granted, I don't know the time in the real world of that movie, how long that movie was, but it seemed like the mask was lasting for like hours, and then in this movie it seemed like the mask only lasts for like 30 minutes. I was wrong. I said it was no twists and turns in this movie, but the biggest twist and turn, if you want to call it that, is probably the fact that Spider is able to breathe without needing a mask because the daughter, she was able to do something to him. She connected him with the planet or something, and now he's able to breathe on Pandora without a mask. I thought that was going to be a plot line they went deeper into, because now the whole thing is Nateri and some other people are like, yo, we need to kill Spider because if the humans run tests on him, maybe they can duplicate whatever happened to him and then all humans can breathe without a mask. That will be a big issue. Jake is like, nah, we can't do that. That's Spider. But then later in the movie, it's a scene where Jake is like, you know what? You're right. We do need to kill this kid. And he takes him off into the middle of the woods and he plans on killing him. This scene could have been really well done, but I just don't feel like they executed well. And one of the main reasons, again, no disrespect, but the acting from the guy that played Spider, I've seen him in other movies, and granted, this movie was filmed a long time ago. The acting from Spider in this movie, in that scene, kind of ruined that moment for me. Like, I was with it at first, you know, Jake was like, man, come on, yeah, just walk me real quick. You already know what's gonna happen. And then you got Spider, and he's like, do you still love me? And I see what they're going for. And Nateri, she's in the river. She's wiping off the red paint on her face. She got the red in her hands and looks like she has blood on her hands. And she has this moment where she's like, no, this is wrong. We can't kill Spider. So she goes and she takes off in the middle of the woods. But I thought she was going to get there like the last second and stop Jake, and they were going to have like a moment. But no, Jake makes a decision himself, and then she gets there afterwards. I just feel like they could have executed that entire scene better. And then some things in this movie are just stupid when you think about it too much. Like, Spider escapes this high security prison, this ship. He escapes his jail cell by unscrewing a vent with a dog tag. If you look around the ship, it's a bunch of windows everywhere. I'm sure they got cameras everywhere. And nobody noticed. And then when it comes to the whales, they don't make any sense because they're like, yeah, I know we're being attacked, but we're peaceful, we're non-violent, so we're just gonna allow ourselves to go extinct because we don't want to fight back against the humans. That doesn't make sense. As of this recording, Avatar Fire and Ash is looking to make around $345 million in its opening weekend. It's less than Way of the Water, but I would be shocked if it doesn't eventually hit $1 billion. I think the first two both hit $1 billion. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of 67% and a fan rating of 91%. For me, I'm gonna give this movie a 7, which is a good on my scale. A really good movie that has a lot to love and hate. Great characters, great battles, great visuals, but the movie doesn't really progress enough for me. Like, it repeats a lot of the same stuff and some important characters just straight up disappear. But this is a good movie. This is a franchise that I didn't think that I would like, but now I would say that I'm a big fan of, and this is a franchise that I would recommend for other people to see if they haven't already. For me, if I had to rank this trilogy, I would probably go probably 1, 2, 3. I feel like 2 and 3 you could swap out either or, but number 1, I feel like across the board, the best movie. But I had fun with this movie. I'm glad I got to finally experience this in IMAX 3D. It was fully worth the $30 or whatever I paid. And I want to see more of this world. I want to see more of these movies. I think Avatar 4 is up in the air at this point. I think they're waiting to see how this does in the box office. I think Avatar 4 is supposed to be out in it was either 2029 or 2031, I don't remember. They have such long gaps between these movies, but if they decide to make another Avatar, they do Avatar 4 and Avatar 5, I'll be there. But thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new here. We talk about a bunch of different things on this channel. What are your thoughts on this movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with my criticism? Do you think that this movie is visually beautiful? This is great if you don't pay attention to it too much, or am I tripping by saying that I feel like 2 and 3 are kind of the same movie? Also, in your opinion, how would you rank these films? What would you think is the best one? Number 1, number 2, number 3? Let me know in the comment section below. Love you guys. As always, remember to tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, see you in the next life.